seconded by Danny. All in favor, say aye. Against, no. Carried. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest? There being none, we have three presentations. Library Services 3.1, Aaron Comeau. You need to speak into the microphone. Before I begin, I just want to be sure you received the document which explains the library services. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you this evening. As the warden says, I'm here to present the library services. Before I begin in the services here in Clare, I just want to give an overview of how public libraries are organized in the province. It was founded by the Antigonish movement to ensure the rural development in the province, and from 1981 the municipalities came into the system. Today we have 9 regions. In the western regions, that's one of them, and we are part of the Western Counties system, and that includes Yarmouth, Digby, and Shelburne. There are 9 regions and 78 libraries, and in the Western Counties we have 10, and Metagan is one of the 10. Each of the 9 regions is governed by a council. These councils are composed of members from the municipalities and towns, and also from the province and other stakeholders. In our region, there's the Yarmouth Public Library and the museum. They own the building, so they're also on our council. The public libraries have 3 sources of funding: the province, 71%, the municipalities, 26%, and each council is required to contribute 3% of operating costs. What we do to receive these funds, we depend on donations from members and also from fundraising efforts. We have a campaign every 2 years. You will have received a memo. I think it's Adopt a Book. Every 2 years we receive about $35,000 as a result of these campaigns, and this allows us to purchase books. Another thing I want to mention is that because we have 2 municipalities, when from the language point of view, so we have grants for that as well. We are thus fortunate for that. We have money which other regions don't have. The funds cover our operational costs. When it's a matter of buying bigger items like vans, that comes out of a different fund. So it covers salaries, purchases of books and other items. The Clare branch is open 30 hours a week, and we have 2 or 3 members of the personnel. We have 100,000 members. This doesn't include the members in Weymouth. People from Church Point have a tendency to go to Weymouth, so we just divide them up arbitrarily to have the figures for Clare. We have interlibrary loan services, so this brings us up to 2 million books. We have an agreement with the other libraries in the province, including college and university libraries. So anyone can come into one of our libraries and request material from one of the other libraries. During the past year, Clare members borrowed about 16,000 books and other items. It seems high, but when you think that there are only 1,000 active members, but those are the ones who have cards. But other people come into the library and they don't have cards, but they can still use our services. The majority of our members come to borrow books, but they also come to use our computers and internet. And there's also the CAP program, which was cut, but we still decided that it was one of our priorities to be sure that the computers are kept up to date, because a lot of people come in to use them. There are a lot of people who come to fill out forms online and to keep in contact with people who are far away. We also, to use the community space, we have a number of groups and individuals that come from the municipality to use it. It's either free or not, depending on what the organization is. There are some who come to study, not as many as before, since we have internet, but they usually come for an hour or two just before their assignment is due, and some people come to socialize, and that's fine. We have a number of programs and services, reading hour for children, and all this is indicated in the handout. We have craft activities, art exhibitions. One good thing is that the way that the Clare Library is organized, we have two walls where local artists can display their works, and this is used, usually someone is interested in doing this each month. So this is a good opportunity for local artists. We also have a service for delivering box of books. This has become popular because in residences for seniors, they have difficulty getting to the library. So what we do is we meet them and we discuss what they would like to read, and once a month we deliver books to them, and so they don't have to worry about getting to the library and back. We also have a reference service. We answer questions that people ask us, and it works face-to-face and also online. We also are committed to create partnerships with other organizations in the province and the community. There's the Department of Recreation in Clare. We organize activities for children during the March break and the summer, and this has been going on for a number of years. We also participate in the Read to Me program at the provincial level, and this is in partnership with hospitals. With the hospitals, we take gift bags, and we participate in literacy activities. And this takes place all through the province, not just in our region. In partnership with Southwest Health, we have been offering a program called Your Way to Wellness, and this program gives a number of opportunities. An employee from Southwest Health came to us a number of years ago wanting a room for the activity. It has to do with chronic illnesses, and it's offered, for example, to parents. We have the Bravo reading program in the elementary schools. This was developed with members of the RCMP at the library. the RCMP, what they do is that they do fundraising to buy books which are offered as prizes to children who enter the Read to Me challenge. And last year there was a French version of the contest. What we do in the library, we work with the schools in order to ensure that they participate in the program, and the pupils don't challenge each other, but the schools challenge each other to see who can read the most. And what we give as prizes is books. And we were able to give out 11,000 books as prizes in the 3 counties of Digby, Yarmouth, and Shelburne.
And this continues to, the name of participants is always going up. And as for when we can have money to keep this program going, it is to note that many young people do not have books in their houses, so it is important so they can some people see that books belong only in the schools and the libraries, so it's good to save money for them to buy books. Also, because of our partnership with Nova Scotia CAP, we hire students to help with students with technology and computers. We don't have money to buy the computers, but we have people that can help other people to use the computers. The library is we lend books to institutions, not only the residents, the seniors. We also lend books to the schools and to the Jardin d'Enfants in Meteghan. It is a service that goes on every month. Also in 2010 we introduced e-books. Since then the circulation has increased by 150%. We find that a lot of people tell us that they prefer borrowing e-books because they don't have time to get physically to the library. So these e-books makes the service more practical for them. If they have an internet connection, then they can read. So the library is more than lending out books. We serve members of the community in varied ways. The evolution of the needs they forces us to bring in certain changes, like the introduction of e-books and the introduction of electronic games for young people, so they can come and play these games. So because of the economic situation now, we have our own challenges. The funds from government have not increased in a few years. Even our operational cost is going up. This prevents us from to develop new programs to answer to the needs of our members. But regardless, we are happy to have employees who are very devoted. And to give you an example of the support we receive from our members, it's been 10 years that we have finances that can help us to donations have kept on at a regular pace because they know the value of our services. This being said, we are also glad that the support we receive from the municipality, and this is the reason why I'm here, because our councillor says it was a good time for us to present to the other councillors what we are doing in our community, and also to thank you for the support that we give us. So I'd like to thank the staff and the employees. We often have phone calls and they answer our needs and our questions. So I'm here to say thank you to you. Do you have any questions? I think that was a really nice presentation. If there are no questions, you answered them all. We would not believe that everything is done. Also, there's a service for movies and DVDs. And there is also, I know because I've done it with certain groups at the house to support the music, local music. I don't know exactly how big it was, but there are CDs of local musicians at the libraries that we can go and listen to. There we have a local collection, and anybody who writes a book, who has something that we can include in our collection, whether they be books or DVDs, we buy them. So I don't remember the name of the band. We do have some of those. Discontinue. I didn't know you had. If there's one DVD that we'd like to borrow, that we'd like to see there, can we suggest you to buy them? If there is a request of something for something that interests you and we don't have it in the system, we can present a request to acquire it. It's not very often that we do have such a request, but we're able to do so. Thank you once again for the presentation. Then we go to 3.2 Clare Golf Club Mireille Leblanc. Do you want the lights dimmed? It was lighted a while back, but maybe it shuts off automatically. Is there something that must be done for the remote?
bloc ici. You can try your switch again. Try your remote again. You can see the video project, so it should work. Go on HDMI. Oh yeah. On the other end of the plug, is there something?
Testing, testing.
Try computer. HDMI. Close enough. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Mireille Leblanc. I'll be presenting the on behalf of the Clare Golf and Country Club. Yeah, in the plan, we have the tropical storm Arthur, holes that were caused by the storm, impact on tourism, on the trees, and conclusion. So on the 5th of July, the Atlantic region was hit by tropical storm Arthur. We lost more than 45 trees in Comaville. So this presents a number of challenges, integrity of the grounds, safety, and the problems of safety. We tried to address those problems as quickly as possible, but there are still a few that need to be addressed. So at hole number 1, between 1 and 9, 2 trees fell, and these trees present safety problems, so we have replaced them. As you can see on the photo, on green number 2, we lost a number of trees, and we would like to replace them with 3 trees for aesthetic reasons. On number 3, between green number 2 and the tee of number 3, we lost 9 trees, and we want to replace these with 3 large hardwood trees. Also number 3, near the green there are 5 oaks that were damaged, and they probably won't survive, so we'd like to replace them as well. So here's a photo of number 4. It's near the tee. We're going down the hill to the green. Number 5, we lost 10 trees, and 3 were replaced immediately. On this image, you can see the apple tree on the hill that we lost, and we also lost a number of trees along the property line, and we have to replace those trees for aesthetic reasons mainly, also integrity.
Number 6 and number 7. These are close to the road PF Como, or the Marc Melançon Road. And I would like to note that these images show how volunteers came the day after the storm, and it was very special to see how so many people came to help. Number 6 and 7, we lost 14 trees, 1 along the highway, and to the left of number 7 on the Melançon Road, and the 13 are between the 6 and 7 holes. These trees needed to be replaced immediately for safety reasons, for integrity, and we still need 3 more trees. We could only replace 7. Number 8, the image you see here is the number 8 green, and in the back of it there's a tree that was mature that we lost, and behind this tree there was number 5 fairway, which involved a security problem. Where I see the circle here, it's the same tree that we saw in the preceding photo. Around the T, number 8T, and there were two behind the grid. Four trees that have arrived to maturity needs to be replaced. On the number 12, this is just an image of a tree that had blocked that prevented the access from 12 to 13. With hole number 13, you can see 12. You can see to the left, in front of the green, there was a tall tree. That one is really important for that hole. Like I said, we lost quite a few trees on hole 12. We replaced 7. We'd like to replace 7 of them. So on the hole number 16, we lost quite a few trees. We lost so much that we almost lost count. There were quite a few. Many of them, even if they didn't really fall, they were seriously damaged. So we need to replace 7 new trees on the 17th hole. On the hole number 17 at the T, the same thing. We lost the sign. So now on the 17th hole, we lost 5 trees lost between the number 12 green and the 17th tee. So as you can see, the storm was devastating to the golf course, and the fact that we're already in the process of replacing trees which are lost in 2011 in a winter storm. Also, regarding tourism, it's an aspect that we consider very important. In the next few years, Clare Golf is hosting many tournaments, provincial tournaments, for example. There is the men's football, the men's amateur, the Lions Club provincial tournament, and many others. These tournaments, we required that we bid on those, and we won them. So all of these tournaments brings hundreds of tourists in our region every year. So if we want to welcome these tourists, we must have an excellent golf course. Without these tourists, there would be not only an impact on the golf club, but also on the whole region of Clare. Regarding the trees, we are planning to replace 46 trees, and as you know, this process has already begun for security reasons. And according to our experience, we are looking at mature trees with the root balls 8 to 10 feet in height. 46 trees with an average price of $250 to $389 each. Replacing these trees will cost us approximately $11,000. So any funding that you could grant us would be greatly appreciated. Are there any questions or comments or concerns? The year is almost finished. This means most of the work would be done next year. there any more questions?
Okay, vi ska se vad. Number 4, adoption of the minutes for the 15th of October. Are there any errors or omissions? Five, business arising from previous meetings. Mountain Road. Brian, is there an update? Bria? I can talk with the building inspector this week. He's told me that the province has approved the name change. The next step will be that the signs should be amended, and when that happens, he will call the municipality and coordinate the time when they can be installed. And when they are installed, the people who live on those roads, they should be notified, because if something happens, they need to know that the sign will be replaced that very day. So 3 years is not bad, but it's finally going to take place. It will take a week or 3 weeks for the signs to come. We hope that this will be done before the winter. I'm really pleased that now it's all going to be done. As I understood, there was one road, the Black Road and Pleasant Street. That's the same road depending on the side. They hadn't approved Pleasant, but they said, but both sides of the road will be called Black Road now. So the road that crosses Placide Comeau Road, and then there's the one that goes from one end to the other. It was suggested that the name of the road continue beyond Placide Comeau Road. For those of you who know the roads, it will be the 2nd Division Road back to Guillaume Sapat. And where people go to swim, it's called the Chemin de la Montagne, and it's going to be called Chemin de la Montagne. It's Bangor Road now, but the section in the middle will change, and the third section will become Chemin de la Montagne Mountain Road. Other comments? We will go to 5.2, Attorney General. We sent a letter to the Department of Justice so they can re-evaluate our level of service and the number of members, that our population is going down and the crime rate is going down. So the council thought it was time to look at that again. We received an answer from the Department of Justice that they will be taking our concerns seriously, and they will be doing a study to determine what the level of service is, what level of service is required, and they will be proposing us a number of options, a number of members, etc. And the council will then examine the alternatives and make a decision. I think it's important that the public should decide that we pay for a certain number of officers at Metegan, but we never have the full number. There are positions that are not filled. So if we lose 2 or 3, if we go down by 2 or 3 officers, it won't change anything. But if we go, I think that this brings a bit of pressure to bear. Hector and I, we went to a meeting with the Department of Justice, and even they see that our level of service, everyone gets less than they are paying for, but we are getting a lot less. So I think they realize that we're a bit of a different case. We don't have the number of members that we pay for. With the members that we have, I think we have a good service from the members of the RCMP, and when the public sees our budget, they find that $1 million for those members, when they're not always available, it's maybe not their fault, but it's a lot of money to have 7 members at once. We are paying for 7 and we get 3 or 4. That puts a lot of pressure on the 3 or 4 that are there. And when you do overtime, I think, anyway, I'm pleased that things are going ahead. 5.3, the river at Hilltown, the crossroad. You asked to send a letter to the Department of Transport, but I called first to see what the story was, and they advised me that it's not a problem with the culvert, it's a problem with the beavers. They are making nests in the culvert. I'm not sure whether you call it a house or a lodge, or anyway, they have their houses, and they take when they come and remove the beaver lodges in 2 or 3 days, they're back. So what they have to do is trap the beaver and relocate them, or do something. Anyway, they catch them, and it's according to an order. I asked them that, and they said they had a number. There was a name. They gave me an example of where they had they had a place where there was a bigger culvert, but the beavers blocked it just the same.
I have a suggestion. In certain few years back, we invited operations supervisor once in a while to give us a report on their plans, and it gives us a chance to ask them questions, maybe during winter when they're less occupied. It would be a good time to invite them to come again to see what are their projects and their priorities. It's been a long time since they came. It wouldn't be harmful. Yeah, we'll try to have them again, maybe in January. 5.4 dog bylaw. This, after all the revisions, it went to the lawyer's office to look at the bylaw once more. He looked at it and there was just a couple of concerns that he signaled out to a couple of terms in the bylaw and the policies. So this is now being revised before we have, he's doing the last changes, and it should be ready for our next meeting. I think one of the questions, I don't know if our committee could answer this question, who would be exempt from that bylaw? That was one question that was brought up. I don't know if we have to make recommendations on our part, or if the lawyer will do it. I submitted the changes that you had discussed, but I didn't ask any specific questions. Maybe we could look at that again. I know what you meant. If that, we go to number 6, Warden's Activity Report. On October 18th, there was an ad. 17th of October, an announcement of the Heritage Minister, $10,000 for the FRAP. On October 18th, there was a meeting in Annapolis with the Minister Leonard Lukac and the Premier McNeil, Greg Kerr, and the municipalities of Kings up to Clare to discuss the possibility of the projects Canada Day for 2017. They're looking at doing something with different municipalities. On October 18th, there was the launching of the St. Anne's financial campaign, where they gave the name of the one building named after Louis Deveau. On the 21st of October, there was a session at Evelina's Robert for the importance of small and businesses. On October 23rd, there was a meeting of the UNSM to discuss the review of the document that we all looked at, and Lester was with me. It looks pretty good after you look at the details. I think that we might lose $2,000 at most, and at the worst 20,000, but there are some municipalities who are in a position to lose $500,000, so we can't complain very much. On October 26th, there was a meeting in Digby, the presentation for the Energy Authority. On October 30th, there was an announcement. Greg Kerr and Gordon Winston on the first phase of 101 highway that would go from Digby to Yarmouth. Essentially, I think they announced the first phase of 4 kilometers from Digby coming towards here, which would go up to the Common Cross Road, which would cost approximately $17.5 million. So they plan to do it in 2 or 3 phases. 3 phases. On November 3rd to the 6th, I was at the International Ocean and Energy Conference in Halifax. You probably saw something in the newspapers. It was on tidal energy, and the first time that it was held outside of Europe. So it was the first time that it came, obviously, in Nova Scotia. In Halifax, there were around 100 companies from worldwide, and we had 2 companies from France who came to visit AF Terrio, and I think Open Hydro next week will visit Clare, and also a Scottish company is also looking at installing turbines above the bay in the Minas Basin, but also looking at Clare for services. On November 7th, there was a meeting of the Board of Governors of St. Anne's. On November 10th, there was a ceremony at Clare District Hive for Remembrance Day, the next day for Veterans Day, and on the 17th of November, there was a meeting to establish a I think they found the CDIF the gathers money in the community with tax credits, and that they can borrow or invest in businesses or local investments. So I think it was good that this interest was shown. So if there are any questions on this report. Would you like to make a motion to send these 2 letters? And seconded by Roussel. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Motion carried. That could have been to official statements. Are there any other presentations from members? Maybe a letter we could send also is Kenneth Deveau was appointed as, I hope the right title, Invest Nova Scotia, so it might be important to congratulate him also. It's a new position, and maybe local businesses can take advantage of this. I think it goes, Economic Development Fund replaces the Economic Development Fund. From what I understand from the past, money requests go to Cabinet, but now it will go to Invest Nova Scotia, and they will have the decision authority. There will be less politics involved, hopefully. Correspondence, Tri-County Women's Center.
I think we should support it. Um, we should support the conference and the discussion which will take place on the financial side. I'm not so sure. Are they asking for a specific amount? No, not no specific amount. I don't know how to help them or what would be reasonable. There's no budget that came with the letter. Could we put a maximum? It's difficult to. Would someone like to make a motion so that for a small amount? I propose that we support the principle of the conference and that we give them an amount of $100. Is there a seconder? Brian? Discussion? $100 is not much, but an organization that covers a large number of municipalities, I think it would be important. I think it's moral support that's important. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor? Against? Carried. 8.2 Clare Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Warden, the Clare Chamber of Commerce wants to sincerely thank the municipality of Clare for its contribution to the shopping in the Bay at the Bay 2013 last year. We want to invite the municipality to become once again a sponsor of this campaign. This promotion encourages local shopping, and we hope to stimulate the economy of our municipality by encouraging people to do their shopping, their Christmas shopping here at home. The campaign will be from the 1st to the 7th of December. The participants will participate in a draw in participating stores during the 1st to 7th December week. The draw will take place on the 8th. The format of the prize will change a bit this year in response to comments from last year. No, as a result of a survey. The prizes will be gift certificates from the participating stores. Each store will supply a gift certificate of $50, and this will ensure a return visit in each store after the campaign. So we ask you to consider being a sponsor once again through a contribution of $1,500 towards the campaign. A campaign like this one will reinforce the experience of consumers in the municipality and will certainly create a favorable economic impact in our area. We continue to congratulate you for the good work you are doing towards the economic development of our community, and we hope to collaborate with you once again this year on this campaign, which is part of the objectives of the economic development plan of the municipality. So thanking you in advance. We are yours very truly, Marcel Saunier, President, Clare Chamber of Commerce. We do this every year. We work with this work with the Chamber of Commerce is important. It's nothing new, but is there a motion? I move that we give them $1,500. It was 1,000 last year. 1,000 then. Are you in agreement with that? Yeah, is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. 8.3 Acadian Festival. Dear members of the Municipal Council, as you know, the Acadian Festival had some financial difficulties over the years. It is as a result of the support from the Municipal Council and the community that the Acadian Festival of Clare is now recovering. During its annual meeting on the 9th of October, the festival reviewed the 2014 festival, and we realized a profit. We are very pleased to announce that we have paid all the expenses of the preceding year and of the current year, and that we are in good financial health, looking forward to the 60th Acadian Festival of Clare. We would like to share these news with the members of the community, and we would ask you to consider making an exception to the rule, and that you would publish this information in your municipal information bulletin. We think that this would be a very good way to communicate with the community. Thank you for the attention that you have given to this letter. Yours very truly, Sébastien Dole, President of the Festival. This is not something that we do, but we've had a lot of requests, but in this case, I think that the council could make a decision. The festival is like a partner of the municipality, and I'm entirely in agreement. And we should congratulate all the volunteers of the festival. So what they want to do is to put an article in our newsletter. I think it's a good idea. I think I don't know that we need a motion for this as long as we're in agreement. 8.4 Municipality of Digby recruitment of doctors in English.
It said that it says in the letter that there are many people from that end that go to Weymouth. I've heard 40% of the Westby patients are from Clare, which is a high percentage. It's a tradition. Honestly, I would like to stay on the committee as a member of a committee, but I kind of suggested that if Danny is interested to be on this committee because it serves his community. I don't know if you're interested, Danny. So if you would agree, maybe we could appoint Danny officially on that committee. I propose that the warden and Councillor Hill be members of that committee. Seconded by Lester. All those in favor? Motion carried. 9. CAO's report. I just wanted to report that the sewer extension in Mitigan River is still being, the documents are ready to be go on tender, but we're waiting for the news. We know that the Build Canada fund has been signed by the province, but we have not received the application forms yet, so we cannot send the tender documents until we have the application forms, but we do hope that the work will be able to start in the spring, and the potential there would be to connect up to 57 residences. The 5-year municipal council fund has been submitted to the province, and also boundaries review. The work is going forward with this. I'm working with Nicole Patier, who was hired to do the work. There will be public meetings. I think it will be mentioned later, but I'll mention now. On Monday, November 23rd at 7 o'clock at the New Horizons Club in Saint Bernard. Wednesday, November 25th at 7 at the Sonyville Legion. And Thursday, November 17th at Salmon River Fire Hall. Maps and boundary descriptions are available on the municipal website for those wishing to see what is being proposed, and they can also submit written requests if they don't have an opportunity to go to the meeting. They can do so by writing to the municipality directly. Also, the Rendezvous de l'Abbé there will be a report for the cafe. I'm sorry, there was an operation plan that was completed, a long-range plan completed by Happy Entrepreneur Consultants, and it was approved. The concept was approved by Council in September 14th, and the results of the recommendations that were given in the report would be that a social enterprise cafe will be established in Clare, and the organization that would take this in hand is the Clare organization representing persons with disability, known as CORD. They are presently preparing an operation plan to take the management and the operations of the cafe and of the boutique sometimes early in 2015. And last piece of information is that internet, there will be a connection available in Saint Bernard at the wastewater treatment plant. It is necessary there because it takes internet to gather the communication with the new system that is being put into place. Also, they needed Wi-Fi to operate the webcam in the Seminar Park, and also the Seminar Commission has asked if we could render this Wi-Fi available for visitors there during the summer. It will not cost us anything extra, but it will be part of the operations in the wastewater treatment plant. Are there any questions? It's on the 25, 24th, 24th, 25th, and 27th. Is there any publicity made for these meetings? It will be in the Clare Shopper. It's on our website. And it will also be in the Courier. I think it's important that this comes out. On the item of the sewer, I spoke to Greg Newell on another subject, and he said they would try to work closely with us because we know that they're going to pave there. So we had a discussion a couple of weeks ago that as much as possible they will wait that we do our work before they pave, because it doesn't make any sense to pave before we finish our project. So he do his utmost to respect these, coordinate these two activities. Who's gonna coordinate the meetings for the Boundary Commission? Who's gonna make the presentation? Yes, I will be with her to answer questions. Thank you. Essentially, it's not the responsibility of council, but councillors can go to the meeting if they want, sit down and listen, but it's not our responsibility to defend the proposals. So our responsibility was only to put this study forward. There was one other thing I wanted to mention on my report. The results of going to the UNSM. There was a lawyer who made a presentation there on conflict of interest, and I know there were times when there were requests in council if somebody were on these committees there was a conflict, so I will write what the lawyers of the province said.
So number 10, committee reports, construction permits. There being none, we go to the Recreation Committee. Neil, we met on the 30th of October. We approved $3,500 for the fund for children, for active children, $1,500 to the CSAP for equipment for the mini handball team in the 4 schools, the elementary schools in Clare. Also some money for the La Pirouette program, and $2,000 to the gymnastics club for equipment. And I also saw and there will be the Christmas tree lighting ceremony at a date which the interpreter missed. And we'll also have the LED Christmas light exchange once again this year. Are there questions? Any questions? If there are none, we go to tourism. We met last week. One of the more interesting subjects was the banners for Welcome to Clare. They are now 10 years old. From 2004, there have been a number of storms. We put them up a month early, but there was a windstorm, and then there was the storm that affected the golf club. So are we going to continue with this program, and how, if so, how do we finance it? It would be $15,000 or $16,000 to replace them. Larry has a number of suggestions. We're going to maybe look at other possibilities. So he's going to be preparing that. If we increase the fees, so instead of a cost of $15,000, it would be $4,000 or $5,000 annually. So what would be the recommendation of the tourism committee? It looks, the banners look good. I would like to recall that the members of the committee are volunteers. Some of them have the impression that the council is reducing its financial support for tourism, even though in reality it's actually increased. Last year we made application, there were applications we had to ask for them to be reduced, but we still gave more than the previous years. So I think the members of the committee should understand that. Are there any questions? We go to new business, 11.1, snow removal. For this, we have 3 different tenders, and you have before you the best prices, which came from Jason's Snow Removal. That was for excuse me, we had bids from 3, Jason's Snow Removal, Jonathan Reddick, and Spec Resources, and the best prices were from Jonathan Reddick for the Clare Health Center and for the municipal office, and Jason's Snow Remover would be for the Metegan sewer treatment. So we need a motion to accord those contracts. Seconded by Rochelle. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. 11.2, Energy Authority. Motion to create the Energy Trust. You have a motion on your desk. We have a presentation. We've been having meetings to discuss the Energy Authority, which would be essentially Digby Municipality and the town of Digby and ourselves with regard to Fundy title. And the municipality of Digby put in $1,000, and the municipality applied to a COA to do a study on the trust itself, what that would mean for the municipalities. They received a presentation of phase one behind closed doors last week because there was a non-disclosure agreement because Fundy title has interests that they don't want to reveal. Essentially, if we form the trust, phase two would be the business plan for the aspect of Fundy title. There's a $17,000 left at a COA for this business case. So I was at Digby for a meeting with the three partners, and the motion, if it's approved, it would be to create a Digby Clare Energy Authority, would essentially, for now, we would have to send two councillors per municipality. Yeah, we would have to hire staff. All that would be set to one side, and they will come with a small document of 2 pages to say that we will be forming an authority, a trust for alternative energy to promote it, and the business case that we will receive later for our Fundy title. If we approve this business case and we go ahead with it, it would be a project of the Energy Authority. So in proceeding like that, the importance of creating the Energy Trust is that tidal energy is a big thing. They're going to put turbines at the top of the bay, and it's clear that we would benefit from that. So we want to be a part of this in order to be able to promote tidal energy and to work as a team. And we should be to making an alliance with other municipalities like Parsboro. So if we look, Fundy title could be part of the authority. So essentially what the motion says that we are going to create the Energy Trust as an agency to work together. I'll repeat again, Fundy title could be a project with say wind turbines. It's open to anything. Anything to promote our regions. So I just wanted to clarify this because it gets complicated when you get into companies and documents, but the result of the business case, when we get that, we'll make a decision to be part of the project or not. So if someone wants to make the motion, we can discuss before the vote.
Is there anybody want to second this? seconded by Hector. I would also like to add that if we can come with a page or two to explain this, I will not see anything before the document comes to council and that you look at the document, but the motion is a bit complicated, but the three municipalities are using the same motion, and the idea is to make sure that there are no municipalities that would be in a position of risk. It is quite detailed, but it's to be sure that there will not be an amount of money attached to the motion. So is there a discussion on this? I'd like to vote in favor of the motion, but I would like that when the authority meets and that we prepare that document, that we consider a different name, because we said authority, it's supposed that this has a lawful authority, and this is not the case. This committee is a promotional group or a business group, but it doesn't have any authority. So I think we should consider that honestly, the name was proposed by the consultant. Nobody really questioned the name, so it could be called an association or something else. But I will note this, and when we define the parameters of the association, but I think the three municipalities are at the same level. They don't want to get into a risk situation, but they do want to work together. Are there any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor, please indicate saying yes. Against, motion carried. 11.3 Municipality of Clare Organizational Study, Award of Tender. As we had applied to the province for financing, 50% of financing, to look at an organizational review, to look at the operations of the municipality, to try to see how the committee and them would work better in a more efficient way, communication, and even communication with public. There is always room for improvement on these subjects. The personal committee made a recommendation to council. They met with people to ask questions. So I think we have a motion prepared. We can make the motion and then discuss it if you want to go ahead or not with this motion. I move that the Council for the Municipality of District of Clare accept the tendered bid to the amount of $23,521 plus 3,068 HST as submitted by Richard G. Ramsey Management Consultants on October 30th, 2014 to conduct an organizational study for the municipality of Clare. Seconded by Danny. Is there a discussion on this? I know that we met these people, but I was impressed by what they had to say. They have a lot of experience, professional experience. I would like to say also that the province has accepted the application also, saying that it was a good organization. I think it's important to say Rick Renzi have a lot of experience with rural municipalities. They understand what we're going through, our situation. So I think as council or organization can always work better, and this is the purpose of this review, and I think it will be positive for us. Are there any other comments on this? I just wanted to say that half of the study will be financed by the province. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. Motion to purchase land next to municipal administration building. This is a piece of land that came on the market, which is right next to our office here, and council has taken the decision to make an offer. There was an assessment made on the property to show that the value was there. So we ask a motion tonight to buy this. Is there anybody who wants to make the motion? Somebody second this? Is there discussion on this? Question, all those in favor indicate by saying yes. Motion carried. 11.5. We kind of discussed the Trans-Canada Highway. 11.6, the steel bridge in Sabanoni. I don't know if you want to speak about this. As you know, some of you know, that there was repairs to be done, and the cost was estimated at 60,000, and when they started repairing the bridge, they saw that it would cost around 300,000, and I understood that there was no money in the budget this year. Therefore, right now, we do not know. I'll ask Greg Newell, who is the area manager for Shelburne Digby Armit, who told me, he asked me if the work would be done. He said it doesn't look like it's going to be done because there's no money. There was 60,000, but there's no 300,000. So I asked him what the options were. He said one of them to make repairs for 300,000, then there would be weight restrictions. The other option to completely new bridge, but will there be room for 2 cars to meet, cross on the bridge? He could not tell me how much it could cost because we don't know these details. Regardless, I suggested, to be sure, that he advised the municipality of any news, especially for the people who live in this community, because it's been over 100 years that the bridge has been there, and if comes to the point that they decide they will not build a new bridge, it would necessitate public meetings. But I think we had suggested to write to the province. I think we should ask the minister that there must be a bridge there for a permanent link, whether it be a double lane or one. It is important for the municipality that this road is kept open. I don't know if we can include, like Tony Hall, like all departments, all those people should be included within this distribution of this letter, including Gordon Wilson. I think they have not taken any decision, but I think it's very important that council puts on the record that we want to have that bridge replaced. If not, if we don't make any noise, it can pass. Yes, I think we should make a motion to send a letter to the province, seconded by Roussel. Is there any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried.
11.7, dates of the public consultations. We've already dealt with that. The first would be on Monday, November 24th at the New Horizons Club, Saint Bernard. Second would be on the 26th, Wednesday. That's an error. The 26th, Wednesday, 7 p.m. at the Saulnieville Legion, and Monday, the 27th of November, at the Fire Hall in Salmon River. and they're all at 7 p.m. Should I read it? I can read it as well. Oh, yeah, all the contact information is available. Yeah, it's on our website under the heading "What's New." You will find all the information there. The date and of the next meeting will be the 17th of December, 7 p.m. Before we finish the meeting, fishing is important in our community. I wish good luck to all the fishermen, and I wish them that it take place in all safety. There will be, if there's wind, they will close the fisheries. It may not. It was originally scheduled for Monday. It might not be until Wednesday. We're now proceeding to an in-camera session.